Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer bringing you the next video in a series where I talk about Modern Warfare 3. Doing this based on feedback I got on a COD XP video where you guys said you wanted to hear about the game. So in this game I'm going to talk about the maps. Now I'll warn you, I only got a chance to play 5 different maps. I hope that they provide an adequate feel, but combined with the conversations I've had with 402 Robert Bowling and the press release that they gave us, then gave members of the press like me, quote unquote, then hopefully I can talk intelligently about the maps and I get all this right. So there's 2 changes to their map design philosophy. In Modern Warfare 2, they went all out to make things as, increase the amount of verticality in the maps. So, in High Rise, for example, there was like a parkour element where you could jump around and go on roofs. And then there was lots of stuff like Favela, where there's, rooftops, roof buildings, windows, etc. The problem with it, and one of the things that they learned and changed for Modern Warfare 3, is that it became a camper's paradise. In Favela, for example, to get from like A or C dom over to B domination and to actually check your corners along the way was just about impossible. There were so many corners on your way to B domination, so many rooftops, so many places to look, that it was just a dead man's task to run from one place to the other. That's changing, right? So in these new games, it's not that there's nothing vertical about the maps at all. That still exists. What a camper. Look at this guy. It's not that there's, that it's impossible. It's just that now, it's checkable. There may be higher elevations. It's not that the whole thing is flat, but they didn't design the maps in such a way that it is impossible to check your corners as you go from one place to another. And that really helps. It makes you able to rush without being punished for rushing. The other change is the size. What constitutes a medium-sized map in older Call of Duties would now be considered a large map. The maps in general are shrinking. I'm checking here for that knifing camper. The maps are shrinking. So that's a really good thing. I find... There he is! I find that... that it's less fun to work your way all the way across array, especially if it's like a 60-second hike, only to die when you finally get to where you aspired to be. In Modern Warfare 3, the maps are going to be smaller. So the 5 maps I actually saw were all nicely mobile and active and interesting. And what I'm told is that the rest of the maps are also going to be small. So in my mind, that's a really good thing. And it will set up an interesting contrast, I think, between Battlefield 3 and between Modern Warfare 3. Where in Battlefield 3, they've done all they can to make the maps gigantic, and they have jet fighters and stuff like that. And in Modern Warfare 3, they've got to make the map really small. I guess we'll find out in the fall which is more fun, and I suspect there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all. But Modern Warfare 3 has worked their way towards smaller maps. I'm sorry for comparing games. I know that makes some of you really mad. The other thing I wanted to call out is that there will be 16 maps. So for those of us that follow rumor websites like really tight, there was this thing that showed this trend saying that there are fewer maps in each Call of Duty as it comes out, and that, there's more DLC. And they made a graph that kind of sort of illustrated their point, but it was really a bunch of bullshit. What it really did was show that there's more DLC than there used to be, which to me is a good thing. And it showed that the Treyarch tends to release with fewer maps than Infinity Ward does. And the only thing that made their trend kind of sort of true was the assumption that Modern Warfare 3 had something like 12 maps. Well, according to the press release I have from Infinity Ward, there's going to be 16 maps on release day. So that to me says there's going to be a lot of maps coming out, and that's really cool. I like a game with lots of content. What are these guys lining up for me here? I like a game with a lot of content, and yeah, so let's do a recap of what we have here. The maps are smaller than they were in previous Call of Duties. There are fewer windows to camp in, and they did that on purpose so that it's not so dangerous to move from one part of the map to another. There are going to be 16 maps available with this game on release day, and one thing that I've noticed so far is the maps are good looking. I hate to be that complainer guy, but you guys have probably heard me fuss about the Treyarch and their color palette before. Well, we're back to Infinity Ward, and there's lots of happy, fun stuff to look at. So yeah, that's a little bit about map design, and I hope that there was at least something in here that you hadn't heard before. And if not, check out these. So now for 2 videos that you may have missed. On the left, I talk about Modern Warfare 3 game types you haven't seen before. On the left, I talk about Kill Confirm, the one where you pick up the dog tags after you kill the guy. It's kind of a TDM variant. And on the right, I talk about Team Defender, something you might not have heard about anywhere else. It's kind of like oddball in Halo, but I talk about that a little bit in there. On the right, I talk about Modern Warfare 3 weapon info, which includes a lot of information about how the game plays, the pace of it, things like that, and the weapon proficiencies and how you can level up your guns and stuff. So 2 good videos I think you might enjoy, and have a nice day.